What is holding up this Aaron Rodgers trade?
Inside, and beauty, Hall running free, Brees Hall inside the 10, he's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and yeah, we're going to be talking about not the L word. We're not going to talk about the L word. Everyone's heard more than enough about the L word, right? It's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is who benefits from delaying this trade. The Green Bay Packers, the New York Jets, and why I think a trade is going to happen sooner rather than later. Let's start with the Green Bay Packers side of things because this is a Jets channel, so let's get the Green Bay Packers stuff out of the way. Why does waiting for the trade to happen benefit the Green Bay Packers, and then also why does it hurt the Green Bay Packers? Well, I think the biggest benefit that they can get is by delaying the trading of Aaron Rodgers, they can, in theory, get a really, really large cap relief if they wait till post-June 1st. And that's a big thing. And they can have pseudo deals done with players that'll just wait till June 1st to sign. And while I think that's a risky move from players to just kind of wait and see and kind of just like have a pseudo deal while other teams are doing those other things. And then also like what happens if a player is available in the draft, now you become redundant. That's besides the point. They can save, I think, like $20 million if they wait till June 1st to then trade him. That's a real thing, and that's a real benefit. Now, what are the cons of them waiting? Well, I think the longer they wait, the worse the compensation for them is going to get. And what I mean for that is, like, I don't mean like they're going to get a 7th round pick. I don't think anybody's going to get fleeced in this scenario. I don't think a 1st round pick is going to get traded unconditionally. That's just not going to happen. But the reality is that the longer that they wait, the worse the compensation is going to be. If they wait till after the draft, well, that's worse compensation than if you got picks for this draft, because the New York Jets are totally okay with giving up 2024 assets because the expectation is that pick is probably going to be 32. Like, that's the goal, right? Is go win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. And if that's more important than saying getting assets in this year's draft to really give your new, young, hopefully franchise quarterback a shot at really developing and doing those things, that's the problem. The other thing is that the longer that this drags on, the worse it looks for the Green Bay Packers organization. There's already talks and conversations and points and things and stories coming out about the CEO Miles Murphy and the general manager and Brian Gutekunst and all of these things, and whether or not Packers fans or pundits or anything want to believe this, Aaron Rodgers is still dialed in to that locker room. And the longer that this goes on, the worse that it'll look for the organization, especially handling the longest tenured Packer to ever exist in their franchise. And a guy that handed them a Super Bowl win, 4 MVPs, and all of those things. It doesn't look good for them. Now let's talk about the Jets. But before we do that, guys, according to YouTube, 66% of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you're this far into the video, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Now, how do the Jets benefit by this delaying and going on? Well, like I said earlier, if I'm the New York Jets, I'd love to just give up 2024 assets. Like, straight up. I would do just 2024 assets because I don't care about 2024. I'm going to load up this year. You're telling me I get to keep 13, I get to keep 43 in a draft class that's really stacked in the middle parts of the draft. I don't have to in a draft class where day 2 is going to shine and day 1 really isn't. You're telling me I have an extra day 2 pick and I could probably accumulate another day 2 pick by trading out of 13, which is probably the expectation anyway? Sign me up. We should load up to go win now. Now, the problem with waiting is the same kinds of things that were going to be said about the Green Bay Packers are kind of going to happen with the Jets when you look at the fan base and the media and the attention and all the stuff that's going to get. The story's going to pivot to, oh, look what Joe Douglas and the Jets were able to do. They went and got Aaron Rodgers, to why isn't Aaron Rodgers a Jet yet, to why are they being stingy? They should just go get their guy. And the longer that this goes on, the worse the story looks for the Jets. The other thing is that hard deadline. Like I said, we want Aaron Rodgers here for the offseason workouts. It needs to happen. And with that hard deadline, I think everybody is it's just a game of chicken right now. Ultimately, I think this trade is going to happen either this week or next week. I don't think any of the parties involved want this thing to go on for as long as it's been going on now. And I think it really just comes down to, hey, this is what we agreed on beforehand. Let's go back to this deal and let's work out and flesh out this deal. I think it's in everybody's best interest to just have a clean break. The news cycle, everybody will benefit better from Green Bay Packers news not being about Aaron Rodgers and New York Jets news just being about Aaron Rodgers. Everybody will benefit because then the Green Bay Packers can fully and truly pivot to not just looking towards the draft, but how they can help their next quarterback and trying to keep this insanely productive run of drafting quarterbacks to replace Hall of Fame quarterbacks and keeping that going with Jordan Love possibly. And then the New York Jets can pivot and say, you know what, now it's time to go do the thing and win the chip. Let's just buckle down. Let's just get a trade done sooner rather than later. Forget leverage. Forget anything like that. Just get in a room and bang it out. They had these conversations before. There's no need to go back on the deal at this point. Just make it happen. Let Aaron Rodgers be a Jet. Take the picks that you guys are going to get and possibly the players. I still think that the picks are probably going to be a second-round pick this year, a conditional pick next year. My guess is probably a fourth that can turn into a second, and Corey Davis. I think that's what the picks are. Make it happen. Just sign the deal. Let's make this thing go. Aaron Rodgers wants to be a Jet. I want Aaron Rodgers to be a Jet. Go Jets.